you want to hire outstanding people in 2025? You know, the kind that can transform your organization, compound and enhance your culture, and drive your success? Well, here's the secret. You're going to need to attract them. And the best way to do that is to give them a brilliant candidate experience. You see, most companies are myopic when it comes to hiring. Like selfish children, they focus on what they want and forget to consider the process from the other side. And because of that, hiring processes are often a nightmare for candidates, which creates an opportunity to really stand out from your competition. Because the truth is that even in candidate-rich markets, the very best people will always have options. When companies make redundancies, they keep hold of the members of the team that they can't do without. And those are likely to be the people that you want. Even if they do end up entering the open market, there are never enough top performers to go around. So the ones you find will almost certainly have options. But employers become complacent when demand is low and supply is high. And because they feel that they're in a position of power, they allow candidate experience to slip, and that results in them losing their grasp on the top tier of potential hires. A candidate's journey through your hiring process is usually the only insight they have into your organization, and it can make all the difference. In fact, there's research from Glassdoor that indicates that 58% of job seekers are more likely to accept an offer if they've had a positive experience through the hiring process, and I'd wager that that percentage is much higher for the top candidates. If you want to secure the real talent, then your process needs to deliver. Another point that's often missed is that the quality of candidate experience in your hiring process impacts whether people apply to you in the first place too. The biotech world is small and very well connected. Bad news travels fast, and a poorly treated candidate can damage your employer brand and reputation well beyond their own encounter. 72% of candidates who have had a negative experience with a potential employer will share it online or share it with someone directly. And 81% will do the same with a positive experience, which perhaps indicates how rare that latter is. Even those candidates who don't get the job, therefore, need to be treated well if you want to continue to attract great people. So just like customer experience and employee experience, candidate experience has a fundamental impact on your business. So how do you make it truly brilliant? Well, the first step is to make your assessment process challenging but not interrogative. Top candidates absolutely want to be challenged. They want to feel like they're earning the job. And if they're not, it will reflect poorly in their opinion of an organization. So making your interview process easy is not going to help you, and it's not going to help the people you're trying to hire. At the same time, lots of interviews feel like an interrogation with very little warmth or connection displayed by those on the hiring side of the table. Finding the balance is key. You need sufficient difficulty for you to truly assess the candidate's skills and for them to feel like they've been tested, as well as sufficient human connection and amiability for them to see that your company is a place they'd like to work and that your team is one they'd like to be part of. One of the best ways that you can create that balance is by ensuring your interviewees have plenty of time to ask questions, learn about your company, the role and the team, and see what life in your organization is really like. Candidates are, of course, evaluating you as much as you're evaluating them. So let them have lunch with their future colleagues. Let them get to know their potential line manager and walk them through in detail your objectives, challenges, and priorities. Put yourself in their shoes. If you were being asked to commit the vast majority of your time to something, and you were putting your career in the hands of a company that you didn't know for the next several years, well, wouldn't you want to know a little bit more than what's on the website? It's also difficult to overstate the impact of moving quickly. Momentum is absolutely everything, and harnessing a candidate's natural enthusiasm is absolutely crucial to securing their services. According to LinkedIn, 70% of candidates lose interest in a role if the hiring process takes too long, and there's some simple psychology behind that. Changing jobs is a huge decision. It's a life-changing decision. It's one of the biggest decisions that people will make in their lives. And naturally, humans weigh risk way more heavily than potential gain. Moving quickly allows you to build a candidate's enthusiasm at each stage of the process, while moving slowly means that our natural defensive mechanisms kick in. When we don't hear from a company for a while, we start to convince ourselves that we never really wanted the job in the first place, in order to avoid the disappointment of being rejected. Because of that, the same candidate given the same offer after a rapid, interactive hiring process is much more likely to say yes than if they received that offer after a long, indifferent one. Now, along the way, you should try and make sure that your hiring process is punctuated with encounters with your company's cheerleaders. Yes, in an ideal world, every single person on the interview panel would extol the virtues of the organization, but the reality is that some are better at it than others, and some are more comfortable with it than others. If you make sure, though, that part of your process involves actually selling the company, its future, and the role to candidates that you're meeting, then you'll find they're leaving you with much more enthusiasm and greater interest than if you don't. Finally, and most importantly, give feedback to everybody. Most of the people you meet with will not get the job. That's just the nature of hiring. But as I've already mentioned, we're working in a very tight-knit ecosystem and candidates talk. The person you just interviewed might not be the ideal fit for your open role right now, but their best friend could be. Or in 6 months, you might just have the right position for them. Building a team or a company is a long-term game, and you should aim to leave everyone with a positive impression along the way. Even if someone is absolutely not the right fit, they may well develop. So in 2025, consider your candidate experience. Hiring the right people is key to the success of every business. What could you do to make it easier for yourself?